How much of your life is spent chasing something you don't have? That next paycheck, that newer car, that bigger house. We live in a world of instant gratification, but it often comes with a hidden, long-term cost, a constant gnawing financial anxiety. In the United States alone, the average household carries over $100,000 in debt. We're told this is normal, but what if there was another way? A way practiced by a community that operates almost entirely outside of our modern financial hamster wheel. A community that has a debt or to creditor ratio that would make any financial advisor weep with joy. They are the Amish. And while their lifestyle might seem a world away, their core principles around money are not only surprisingly relevant, but they hold the potential to save you thousands of dollars a year. This isn't about giving up your smartphone or electricity. It's about uncovering 5 time-tested habits that can help us reclaim control, find financial peace, and maybe even rediscover what wealth truly means. The ironclad rule of no debt. Let's start with the big one, the absolute foundation of Amish financial life. In their community, personal debt is not just discouraged, it's culturally forbidden. This isn't a preference. It's a core tenet, deeply woven into their interpretation of Christian scripture and their guiding principles, known as the ordinal. To the Amish, interest-bearing debt is seen as a form of bondage. Why work to make a bank richer? This philosophy extends to everything. No car loans, because they primarily use horse and buggy. No credit cards for daily purchases. And most shockingly to us, no 30-year mortgages. Think about that. A young Amish couple wanting a home or a farm doesn't go to a bank. They start working and saving from a young age. They live frugally, often with family. They might buy a small starter plot of land and build a modest home, which they will own outright before expanding. It's a slow, deliberate process built on patience, not leverage. Now, compare that to our reality. The average 30-year mortgage on a $400,000 home can mean paying over $300,000 in interest alone. That's an entire second house you've paid for that you never get to live in. The Amish look at that and see financial insanity. So, how do we apply this? Most of us can't just pay cash for a house, but we can adopt a debt-despising mindset. Start by aggressively tackling high-interest consumer debt. Use the debt snowball method. List your debts from smallest to largest, regardless of interest rate. Pay the minimum on all but the smallest, and throw every extra dollar at that one until it's gone. The psychological win gives you the momentum to tackle the next, and the next. You are, in essence, buying back your own freedom, one payment at a time. Mastering the art of enough. There's a beautiful German word the Amish use, Gelassenheit. It doesn't have a perfect English translation, but it embodies calmness, acceptance, and a yielding to a higher purpose. In a financial context, it's the antidote to our modern plague of consumerism. It is the art of knowing what is enough. The Amish don't buy things to impress their neighbors. Status isn't found in the brand of your buggy or the size of your barn. It's found in faith, family, and community contribution. Their homes are functional, their clothes are practical, and their possessions are few but purposeful. We, on the other hand, are trapped on what psychologists call the hedonic treadmill. We get a raise, we buy a nicer car. The initial joy fades, and we're back to our baseline happiness, now with a higher car payment. We see our friends' vacation photos on Instagram, and suddenly, our own life feels lacking. A 2020 study in the Journal of Consumer Research found that materialism is strongly linked to lower levels of well-being and higher levels of compulsive buying. We are literally buying things that make us unhappier. To step off the treadmill, you must define your enough. Try this. Before any non-essential purchase over, say, $50, enforce a 30-day waiting period. Write the item down. After a month, the impulsive urge has often vanished. Another powerful trick? Unfollow any social media account that makes you feel less than. You'll be shocked at how much money stays in your pocket when you're not constantly being told you're incomplete without this one new thing. the community insurance policy. What happens when disaster strikes in our world? We call our insurance agent, navigate a maze of paperwork, and hope for the best. What happens when a fire destroys an Amish family's barn? The community happens. This is the barn raising, the most iconic symbol of Amish mutual aid. There is no formal insurance policy. Their insurance is each other. When a family is in need, the entire community mobilizes. They bring their tools, their labor, their food, and in a matter of days, a new barn stands where ashes once lay. No premiums, no deductibles, no loopholes. This principle extends to all aspects of life. They have their own form of healthcare support, pooling resources to help families with overwhelming medical bills. In fact, the Amish are famously exempt from paying into Social Security and Medicare because the U.S. government recognized their centuries-old system of taking care of their own was more reliable. A study on social connectedness found that people with strong community ties tend to have better health outcomes and greater financial stability. We've replaced community with institutions, and it's costing us dearly, both in dollars and in a sense of belonging. You don't need to raise a barn to apply this. Start small. Build your own community fund. Instead of everyone on your street owning a lawnmower they use once a week, what about a shared tool library? Organize a meal train for a neighbor with a new baby or a family crisis. Start a babysitting co-op. By weaving a web of mutual support, you reduce the need to pay a stranger for every single service, building real wealth and real relationships in the process. The producer over consumer mindset. In our world, we are raised to be consumers. We buy our food pre-made, our furniture pre-assembled, and our clothes ready to wear. The Amish, by necessity and by choice, are raised to be producers. Value is placed not on what you can buy, but on what you can do. A young man learns woodworking or farming. A young woman learns gardening, food preservation, and sewing. These aren't hobbies. They are foundational economic skills. This creates a powerful shift in perspective. When you know the hours of labor, skill, and quality materials required to make a proper dining table, the idea of buying a cheap particle board version that will fall apart in 3 years becomes absurd. The Amish invest in durability, not disposability. They are the original masters of buy it for life. This directly counters the modern manufacturing concept of planned obsolescence, where products are intentionally designed to have a limited lifespan to encourage you to buy the next model. The Environmental Protection Agency estimates that the U.S. generates over 12 million tons of furniture and furnishings waste per year, most of which ends up in landfills. You can fight this by learning just one productive skill. You don't need to build your own house, but could you learn to cook 10 meals from scratch, saving a fortune on takeout? Could you learn basic sewing to mend your clothes instead of replacing them? Could you plant a small container garden on your balcony for fresh herbs? Each skill you learn is a declaration of independence from the consumer cycle. It's a direct investment in your own capability and your own bottom line. The power of intentional spending. How often do you get to the end of the month and wonder where all your money went? It vanishes in a series of thoughtless taps and swipes. The Amish practice a form of radical, tangible intentionality. While the literal jar system might be more of a historical practice, the principle behind it is as relevant as ever. Every dollar has a name and a job before it gets spent. Because they operate primarily in cash, they physically feel the outflow of money. A 2001 study from the Journal of Consumer Research confirmed what the Amish have known for centuries. Paying with cash feels more painful than paying with a card. This pain of paying makes you a more conscious spender. You feel the weight of that $100 bill leaving your hand in a way you simply don't when you tap a piece of plastic. They hold family councils to discuss major expenses. Money isn't an abstract concept on a screen. It's a finite, physical resource that needs to be allocated with wisdom and foresight. They are, in effect, running their family like a responsible, debt-free business. You can recreate this in the digital age. Adopt a zero-based budget. This doesn't mean having zero money. It means giving every single dollar a job. Income minus expenses, giving and saving must equal zero. Whether you use physical envelopes for cash spending on things like groceries and entertainment, or a dedicated app that mimics the system, the act of assigning your money a purpose before the month begins is revolutionary. It shifts you from a reactive spender to a proactive financial manager.
No debt, knowing what is enough, the power of community, the value of skill, the intention behind every dollar.
These 5 habits aren't about becoming Amish. They aren't about rejecting the modern world wholesale. They are about recognizing that for centuries, this community has practiced a form of financial discipline that is deeply countercultural and profoundly effective. They have cultivated a resistance to the very things that keep us financially stressed. The allure of easy credit, the pressure of constant consumption, and the erosion of community support. They've proven that wealth isn't just about the number in your bank account. It's about security. It's about freedom from debt. It's about community resilience. It's about having the skills and the mindset to provide for yourself and your family. So, here is the challenge. Don't try to adopt all 5 habits at once. Just pick one. For the next 30 days, track every penny with a zero-based budget. Or put a 30-day hold on all non-essential purchases. Or learn one new skill that can save you money. Start small. Start today. Because by borrowing a little of their timeless wisdom, we might just save ourselves thousands of dollars and find something far more valuable in the process. A life lived with more intention, more purpose, and a lot less anxiety. What habit will you try? Let us know in the comments below. And thanks for watching.